listeners may find the following footage deeply disturbing. For more awesome content, like and subscribe now. Lock and load, bitches.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Howdy.
Damn. Phil got unsubscribed and unnotified. That happens a lot, Phil. If you hear people say, no, it's not just this channel, it's all channels. It happens a whole lot. Hey, whoever had their cold weather, Mother Nature has stumbled her drunk ass into Alabama.
No shit. I got the heat on in Texas.
Yeah, I think our high today is in the low 60s, but it's like people don't understand. We tell them it's in the 20s here, and they go, "Oh, you're pussies. It's the 20s." But the same thing that makes the hot hotter makes the cold colder. The humidity. I didn't even look.
62, going to a high of 79.
So that's the problem. It's 58, but it feels like 49.
Well, see, the problem for me is I come from the desert where it's, a high of 130 and a low of 100. 62 feels like a freaking iceberg I'm sitting on.
Yeah. It's hard to believe John is 2.5 hours west of me. That's it. That's all that separates us.
I know, right?
I feel your presence, John. You're like you're kind of like Jesus sitting on my shoulder.
Oh God, here we go.
Yeah, that's So I found something weird at the yard sales. It's amazing what you can find.
A toaster.
Yeah, it's a toaster. And the guy charged me $5.
What is it?
It's a toaster.
It's a toaster.
It'll hold four hard drives and one. I got the front door taken off because I stuck a laptop drive in there. Very strange.
Here's the train again.
Lags on my shoulder. Okay, the other one.
Nah, he's perched on the end of your wee.
So what's that over there by your monitor, Todd? In case you get tired, you got a substitute hand over there now.
What? Oh.
In case you want to take a break, you can just put.
No, it's.
There you go.
You haven't seen this before?
No, not paying any attention. So have you seen a lot of people make, like the hairdressers and stuff, making videos? They'll be sitting there and they'll be rub a hand through their hair, just want a hand that size until the person looks up and sees it.
Dwayne Hale sent that to me about 6 years ago.
Dude, Dwayne Hale lives like 30 minutes from here. He's been here at least a year and a half, 2 years. Still hadn't seen him. He moved
only thing I've been watching is the crying videos.
I'm
sorry. My wife is like, okay, you got to get off the politics now. I just been laughing and laughing and laughing because some of them are just so stupid.
Yeah.
But okay. So they were funny the first like 2 or 3 days, but then it becomes real sad that these children are so brainwashed to think that they have been convinced by MK Ultra, by the mainstream media, whatever you want to call these folks, the operation that's been run on them, that their world has absolutely come to an end. I mean, before everything happened, you'd ask them, "Why are you supporting Kamala?" They'd go, "I don't know." And they go, "Tell me one thing she's done." "I don't know, but I know Trump's a racist."
Oh yeah.
I mean, and they can't tell you why. And you start asking them questions, and you start saying things, and you go, "Well, who said this? Who said this?" And they all go, "Well, Trump said that. Trump said that." And you go, "No, that was Biden. That was Biden. That was Kamala. That was Biden." And they go, "Oh." and you quickly find out the real racist. Biden is the real racist. The Democratic Party is a real racist by trying to keep people on their the new age plantation where it is amazing to me that these people can live in such economic shitholes and physical shitholes of these big cities that have been run for Democrats for half a century, and look around and go, they're going to fix it this time. They stand in line, they hold their hand out, and they go, well, it's been 4 years. They tell us they're going to do it. They're going to do it. And they repeat the same process as they get worse and worse and worse and worse off. It's it's Cowboys crying. Yeah, that's another good one there too.
Uh,
I would tell you that Georgia fans will be crying too, but yeah, they're not going to be crying. Looks like Tennessee's quarterback's going to be out.
Oh,
do you?
What did I sell?
I was gonna turn this back to reselling. Have you seen an uptick in sales since the election, and now that it's like?
So that was where I wanted to go with the show today. So you're reading my mind, unfortunately. I think it's too early. I've seen a little bit, but I don't think people. It feels like I'm just waiting for the next shoe to drop. Everything's too quiet. Something's going to happen. You know they're up to something, and then that generally means is whatever one side of government wants to do to the other one, we generally take the beating. But I've also got better stuff up, and I'll be listening again today. One of those shelves over there, you can't see it underneath the flag over there, is there's like 17 video game systems that are got to get listed. It's that time of year, so oh god.
You didn't play his entrance music.
I'll be real fucking gentle. What the fuck's he saying?
Yeah, you just feel like something's coming. You can't trust anything that you see.
I don't know. I don't think that. I honestly believe they've accepted the defeat.
I don't.
Hear me out. And they're going to just walk away, and then the other shoe's going to drop later next year. I think they realize they don't have time to make anything happen between.
You think they're just playing nice because if they play nice with him, they know he's not going to arrest them. He didn't arrest Hillary. He didn't.
I think if they play nice and just that they know that they're going to fall on his radar list, because it's very clear where his radar is right now. There's two places that he is strongly focused: deportation, which I watched Gutfield last night, and
I love him.
Yeah, he's the best on TV.
He made a statement that made a lot of sense. The left is pushing the mass deportation, just like they pushed for their gun agenda, assault weapon. They're coming after the weapons, but they're pushing the assault. They know that we want deportation, but they want to try and stop it, so they're pushing the mass deportation and the breaking up of families. And Gutfield really had some really good points about that last night. I really believe this is going to go very smooth. I think he may have some problems with some of his picks, getting them through Congress and the Senate.
It just has to go through the Senate. It doesn't go through Congress.
I don't know that they're all going to agree, because you still have some rhinos in there that aren't. They're part of the, for lack of a better word, the never Trumpers. And I think the economy's feeling that. Somebody posted in the millionaires group today Trump's going to put a 25% tariff on Mexico.
He,
It's a sensational headline in a group because she didn't get what she wanted in the election. The problem is there's nothing that you and I can do about it at this point.
correct.
We are out of the control of that. Now, what we need to do, and this goes back to what I told John on his show and after his show, okay, what if Trump does get a 25% tax in Mexico? What can I do today to start working on bettering my business so that if that tax goes in, that tariff goes in, I'm in a better position? Just like you see me do it every time eBay comes out with a
Mhm.
change or Amazon comes out with a new fee. I don't get on here talking about all the bad and how eBay needs to fix their freaking systems. You know what I'm doing. I'm behind the scenes, off air, with my head down, trying to figure out how do I make an improvement within my company to adjust for this change.
Yeah, and we talked about that for years, John. Is how do you, when any change comes down, because in all actuality, you can't you can get on here. There's been a people rumbling again about forming a union and all that crazy shit again, and protests, and I mean that's just people that are ignorant of business, ignorant of survival, ignorant of the way things work. I mean, we have no leverage as third party sellers. You can't get enough resale. People look at YouTube and go, but look how many people on YouTube agree with it. I mean, the number of resellers on YouTube wouldn't fill a thimble to the number of resellers overall on eBay. They make the mistake of thinking that this is everybody, and this is not close to nobody. There's no leverage, and they waste so much time fighting against something that they have no. How did y'all not read Don Quixote, for God's sakes? You don't fight windmills. You're supposed to have learned that early on. It's how do you take it? Who are the people that are always successful and continue to move on? Are the ones that think like John. This is the new playing field. How do I take advantage of it to get a step ahead of everybody else while they are bitching and moaning about it? I'm changing my processes, adapting this into my policies and procedures to take advantage of the new landscape while everybody else is going, fuck. Poor pitiful me.
Well, people that are competing with foreign countries in manufacturing that manufacture the same product, they're going to just turn up. They're going to have to turn up or they're going to need to turn up their production rate to offset, you know, the slowdown on imports.
But
Did you?
if imports become more expensive, that means American goods should theoretically come a little bit cheaper and more competitive.
Yeah.
How
They're not going to become cheaper. Don't use the word cheaper. Competitive.
Well,
Start
I
using
said that was my next sentence. My next sentence was more competitive. They're definitely more competitive in the marketplace, and
They're going to be because that's what people don't understand about this tariff. Oh, the end user is going to have to pay for it. Yeah, you may pay for it in the beginning, but it's going to be a more competitive marketplace, which you will benefit from in the end. Because there is going to be if a 60% tariff goes into place, there are going to be places where we will have to pay more. But I don't believe we're going to pay more for a longer period of time because what we're going to do is we're going to bring more technology, higher paying jobs back into this country.
correct.
We're going to have to figure out how to bring those costs down by going to other countries to get the raw materials, or we're going to have to figure out how to redefine. Plastic is a perfect example. We needed oil, and plastic is a byproduct of oil. And we needed something to put oil in, and we turned to plastic, which was a byproduct of oil. When we start doing all these things, everybody's focused on cost of goods is going to go up. It's not it's going to force people like me who bring in product from China or raw material from China to start looking how to streamline and make those things more efficiently. We don't look at making things more efficient until there's pressure put on that pain point.
Yeah, there's a lot of anti-competitive stuff they can do. You know, you wipe out the Chinese being able to send stuff over here for a little. You should not be able to send an item from China to the U.S. cheaper than I can send it from here to Tennessee, which is 12 miles.
Yeah.
I can't send something across town in Huntsville for what you can send it from China to Huntsville.
I want to know how much more it costs the city of Charlotte, Mecklenburg County, during political season when we're getting all of this damn junk mail in the mail. How much it's costing them to dispose of all this stuff? Because I look through my mail at the mailbox. I mean, at the trash can. I flip the lid open on my trash can and I start going through that stuff. It's just and it just goes directly into the recycling bin.
It is nice not to have any of the commercials anymore, any of that nonsense anymore.
Yep.
Absolutely. Did you see where BRICS is backing off on pulling away from the dollar?
Oh yeah, it's because the China strongman is not going to be in power. There's going to be somebody here who's looking to defend the U.S. dollar and defend what's best for this country versus somebody who's sold out to China. It's easy.
He's going to just start cutting people off, and even India, as much as they produce, they're still getting money from the United States.
Yeah, we can end it all. I'm telling. If they'll do half of what they said they're going to do with the efficiency and the reduction of the size of government and those, look at the last one of the biggest fuck yous of the Democratic Party. The lasting thing that hits you every single day is the Department of Education, thanks to Jimmy Carter. I believe it Jimmy Carter's administration when they came out with the Department of Education. We have gone from first in the world in education to 24th, thanks to the leadership from the Imperial Federal Government. Don't think this is an accident, folks. It's not an accident. That's exactly what they wanted. You can wipe out the Department of Education. You can wipe out so many arms of this government. Oh my God! And if they do put Kash Patel in charge of the CIA, holy shit!
And I think the policy of drill baby drill is going to help. If we can run down the cost of
energy, he's right. If you bring the energy cost down, it brings the cost of all manufacture down in this country. Let's look at what.
Just 90% of Texas electricity comes from natural gas plants. If they can get natural drill and get natural gas down to, that's going to help, folks.
But also, I mean, look at it, because the energy cost us the transport, to make, to deliver. I mean, look how much involved in transporting to get a good from a natural resource to your house. And how much the energy cost is. People don't think that. It's the big lie with about a Tesla. If you got a Tesla, I'm not hating on you. Teslas, they're nice cars, but you got to understand the energy cost that it takes to make one of those. You're years of catching up with I save money because I don't pay for gas. Shit. It's an illusion. You pay. They're moving the cost from one place to another. They're selling you on the fact that something is green.
Unless you have your own power plant with wind turbines and solar panels and little hydro plant on your property generating the energy to charge that car, you're still paying for electricity. Even if you do it at home, you're still paying for electricity.
And where does that electricity come from? A coal plant? Where's it come from? I mean, the energy costs and the function of the. Well, first of all, they've sold you too much on the effects of the human has on the environment. You know where we have the biggest effect on the environment? Of this crazy shit where they're trying to control the weather. You can't tell me there's a hurricane down there, and the hurricane was supposed to hit the Panhandle. Oh, wait a minute, it's moving towards Louisiana. Oh, wait a minute, it's going to accidentally hit Arkansas. Where is? Have y'all looked and seen exactly where it's going to hit and what's there? Where that hurricane is heading? Guess what's there? Anybody want to guess? Don't guess it.
My guess is alignment.
What was in what did they go for in North Carolina?
Energy.
Lithium.
Yeah, there is they've just discovered a huge lithium deposit in Arkansas. Guess where this hurricane is accidentally going? Right at it.
Yeah.
You think that's a coincidence that the two largest lithium deposits available to be hit by a hurricane are both going to be hit within 90 days of each other? I think that's an accident.
Scott, Mr. Sadie blames Todd single-handedly for destroying the toothbrush holder market.
He's a collector. He hadn't killed the market. He's a collector.
Yeah. But what you're saying is even, like I said, even if you have your own solar panels and wind generators and a little hydro plant on your property, all of that still is being manufactured. A lot of it is going to have petroleum products in it, or some of those. So it's all it's a big circle. It never ends.
I don't think people don't understand how much petroleum affects their life and how let's do without petroleum. They don't understand that nothing in their life works. Just think about where plastic is and how what plastic touches.
Let me do a little step off the porch here for a second. Anissa, doing away with Little Debbie Christmas trees is the work of the devil.
Okay. I still like that picture. I need to post it. I've got it on my computer.
The one where she's talking about all
I put up my decorations and there's a little Debbie Christmas tree against the wall.
Yeah. that the work of the devil.
Well, the work of the devil is the fact that how many chemicals are in that mess.
I know, it don't matter. No, that's good shit though.
They are pretty tasty.
That's the stuff that I'm interested to see is what can they do about the food supply? What can they do about because they've got an uphill fight against this is some big lobbyists and some big business and some powers that they're against. It sounds like a great idea to let RFK go up against these folks, but do we think that Big Pharma is gonna just lay down?
No, and that's the thing. You got to understand. I know people are like a little panicking about some of the people they brought in. The dude that's going to be the borders czar.
He's a badass. I like him.
That's he's
Tom starts with H. Herndon, is it Herndon?
Yeah, I like him. He shut down AOC down in a heartbeat in one of the congressional hearings.
You need somebody. You need people to and I don't know what news I was listening to, but they were talking about throughout time, different points where one man made a decision to do something and how it changed the course of America, but how much work it took to get him to the point of where he could actually start to do anything. Lincoln was one of them. FDR, nobody talks about this. They wanted FDR to be a dictator. It was a common theme in America that FDR become a dictator. He is the one that pushed back and said no.
That's also a time where they saw communists around every corner.
And they wanted him to, because of what he did through the Depression and this and all the things that he did through his time, they wanted him to stay long. Now with where we are, and I like that the gays are coming out and the lesbians are coming out saying, wait a minute, this isn't what we signed up for. These people that have been afraid to speak over the years, one of them, I can't pronounce his name, the guy that works with Elon now, Vajevic or whatever his name
Uh,
is.
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah. He spoke with one of them and said, your marriage is not in jeopardy. Nowhere does it say we want to revoke gay marriage. And
It's one of the biggest.
the woman said, I'm not in for this stuff that we're infecting kids in school.
They're like,
I
we just
want left alone.
wanted to be married and equal and left alone. That's what, and
And they were like,
it's probably the
we
same.
got our equal rights when we got our marriages being
I think it's the
recognized
same
by the
interview I
government
saw,
for
John.
benefits. And they had a right, they had a legitimate reason to want those rights.
Right.
Benefits, retirement funding, health care that we take for granted because our spouse has those rights. I don't care what they do behind closed doors, but they should have had those rights. I agree with what they went for. I don't agree with these kids. This stuff is a little crazy.
I agree with you on that. I
Yeah, I
was
think I
listening.
saw
I
that
was
interview.
listening to an attorney who is a lesbian on her, and she talks about just generic legal stuff, but she said that their business in their practice has grown by 30% just handling uh, gay divorces,
Divorce. Yep.
and it's primarily lesbian divorces, and
Well,
so I think I
nothing
think
for
it,
nothing. But the gay men in this country never came out. They've always lived a private, secluded type lifestyle. And when all this LGBTQ XYZ plus minus or whatever frickin' signs they're using this week, when all that started, they pretty much stayed where they were. They didn't come out going, "Oh yeah, I want this and I need this and I need that." They're not as vocal publicly as most of the other groups are, and that's by choice. That they've chose to do that, and I think it's for self-preservation.
I'm going to start having in let's see, September, because it's too hot any other time. I'm going to have the male pride march in Charlotte. Don't matter
Well,
what color you are, what sexual preference are. If you are a biological male, you're welcome to participate.
Good luck with that.
well,
But
I
it's very quiet right now. I hope that business will get back to normal. It's right now they're having to fight to come up with something to argue about right this second because there's really nothing
but what is normal?
except for Arizona, Arizona and Pennsylvania. I don't know if y'all have seen some of the numbers coming out of or maybe it's Wisconsin. One of the Senate races, and maybe it's the Wisconsin Senate race where the Republican is up by 400,000 votes. He's up by 400,000 votes. In the middle of the night, he loses 5,000 votes, and the Democrat gets 5 or 600,000 votes. So they in the middle of the night, she received 110% of the votes. Understand that out of all the votes that they claim were there, she received 110%. How do you receive more than what was actually counted?
Well, I believe Lake lost. Lake lost because she wouldn't let go of the 20.
She didn't lose. If you look at the numbers, John, she didn't lose.
I'm not buying into that one and I'll tell you why. I lived there, and a lot of people I talked to got
It
tired.
doesn't matter
of
who you
hearing
talk to,
about
John. Whenever you've got ballots in the middle of the night, when they say at 10 o'clock at night, we have 7,000 ballots left. And at 8 o'clock in the morning, they go, 19,000 ballots left. And they do this in 4 different precincts. And guess what? It covers the amount she loses. Funny games are going on, John. You can't tell me that it takes 10, 11 days to count ballots when the state of Florida can count.
I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people that voted for Trump. I know a lot of people that voted for Trump and did not vote for her in Arizona.
But
And I'll tell you what Trump did that she didn't do. He did not grandstand about the 2020 election. And she would not let it go. That's 4 years ago. You're talking about getting back to normal in business. Tell me what normal is in business. Because we haven't had normal in probably 6 years.
yeah, since late 19.
I was thinking 18, but okay, 19. We
18
really
was
have,
18 was normal. 18 was normal. 19 late 19 is whenever they started saying there's something happening in China.
you know, what is different about today with all the, we're waiting for this other shoe to drop. But were we thinking that back in 18, early 19,
No,
that there
because
was,
remember the economy. Remember 18 and early 19, the Trump economy is really rolling.
and
Every
where are we at right now? The economy is in good shape. I'm not saying that what Biden did made the economy better, but the economy technically is in decent shape. When you compare numbers to numbers, inflation, yes, cost of gas is up. They dropped the price of gas because of the election. Absolutely, because at the end of at the beginning of the year, gas was everywhere's over $3. So did they control pricing to bring the price down? Yes, but if you look at where we are, the quiet is normal. We just don't feel normal yet. Are there things that are going to disrupt this normalcy? Yes. But we are in a normal state. That's why I don't fear. I'm not looking for a shoe to drop. I'm not looking for a black swan. I'm not looking for anything to happen but a peaceful transfer of power on January 20th. And then some disruption in the economy because the economy needs a correction. And the only way to allow a correction is to allow the economy to be the economy, which I believe Elon Musk, Trump, and everybody else will do. I believe they're going to allow the stock market to come back. I believe they're going to allow the economy to draw back a little, to create competitive pricing on some of the markets that need to be competitive. I believe these things are going to happen, and it's going to feel like a lot of noise to us and a lot of disruption. But you have to understand that we're so far behind. It is going to take time, and it's going to hurt to make these corrections. Don't think just because we voted for the orange guy, as they call him, that everything is going to be better overnight. It is going to take time, and
the
it is
econ-
going to hurt each and every one of us in some form or fashion to make these corrections.
See, the economy is not fine. I'll never agree with anybody who says that. You got to understand that they've eliminated so many people out of the market, the unemployment, the people that just have given up. They have Peter Birdsall. I agree 100%. They came from a mom and pop. They came from small business. They are look at the safety online, the safety and retail and all that shit. They're coming. They're coming for online. They are coming to try to make it where you have to be. You have to be in a supply chain in order to sell something. They're coming after all this stuff, and
But that, part of that is the platforms too. The wanting you to be in a supply chain. That
it's
that
because
is that
it's
is
in it's in Congress, John. It's not the platforms can see it coming and they're trying to get ahead of it. It's the platforms don't care. Truly, they don't care where it comes from.
I've got a question. When is the House members and the Senate members sworn in? The new ones?
I
Anybody
don't know
know?
when Congress is sworn in.
Are they
I
not
know
sworn in around the same time on the 20th?
I
I
thought
think it's before. I think it's I want to say it's the 16th.
Because I think it's called the Shop Safe Act or something like that. That crap, that pile of horse shit that they've been. Remember, anytime they announce, they put a name on a bill, it's always the opposite. So the Shop Safe Act really means that it's the opposite. It's the reduction uh, the Reduction Act. Yeah, right. It didn't do anything but create more. Everything they call it is um,
So January 3rd is the swear-in. Is
Okay.
when they're sworn in.
so James says that optimism is a real thing. He thinks it's better already. People have hope. Spending goes up. Spiritual. I can agree with some of that, James. I think that there is a vast majority of people in this country who have felt betrayed and let down. Have stood up, and but there's some interesting things. Brenda, there's been some great comments today. I agree with Brenda. She lost the election whenever when the guy came in. There was two of them that came into one of her events and said that Jesus is Lord, or Jesus, and she laughed and she mocked Christ and said, "You're at the wrong event." That was it. That the evangelicals are the ones that came out hard on this event because they realized the clear present danger of the warnings and revelations of the witch, the Jezebel in purple. It's
I think she clearly lost the election where any Democrat with a half a brain is saying that she lost the election.
yep.
When she made the statement, when she was asked a direct question, what would you change from this administration?
Nothing.
As she went, nothing I can think of. I think that is the moment in time that she lost half of her supporters because her supporters are technically supposed to be the working class because the Democrats are about the working class. I'm not saying that that's what reality is. I'm saying that's our belief system within the government. And
That
I
raised
think
a lot
that
of
is when they left. They went, bitch, you have no idea what you're talking about. I can't buy formula for my kid, and you're telling me there's nothing you would change over the last 4 years?
yeah, a lot of the working class Democrats walked away at that point.
Yeah. Well, they interviewed a lot of Democrats on the street, and they didn't vote for her because they didn't know what she was. She didn't have a plan, and people across the board are paying more for food and just general items, um, and I think that just people just realized that she just didn't have a plan. At least Trump sort of had a plan. And did you see what Tactical Z said, Scott? He says, "I
He,
wonder if they're going to try to arrest Trump now for beating a woman so bad."
yeah, Eric is late. We're not paying any attention to him.
um,
It's. I think there's a lot of factors. A lot of it can be built on what your belief system is. I believe I truly believe that the Lord is using Trump to make a change in this country, to change the direction we've gone. This country is almost off the cliff.
I can't tell you if I can't. I'm not going to stand here and say that I believe that Jesus did anything for Trump. What I do believe is that God has a plan through all of this. And I keep going back to kings in the Old Testament. There were good kings and bad kings. There were bad kings that looked good, and there were good kings that looked bad.
But
We can't
but through it all,
predict what happens. Right.
he uses good or bad people, so
Yep.
to move things forward. So, but
I,
I think it's going to be. I think the fourth quarter will be a little quieter. I don't. The optimism I think is there. I think will help our. I think we'll have a decent. But unless unless something crazy happens,
but
stop
they'll
looking
blame it
for
on Trump.
excuses.
They will blame it on
and
Trump if
that
it's
judge
not.
started trying to. Did Marshawn say anything yesterday? I thought I heard a snippet about Marshawn yesterday. Did he say anything?
I don't. I really listen, guys. You know, I'm laughing and giggling here, and I'm saying I'm putting out my opinion. But when I get off of here, you have to understand that I just had a meeting before I got on here. My goal for the fourth quarter of this year, from October 1st to December 31st, is $1 million. So don't think I'm sitting around watching all YouTube videos and doing everything else. I have big goals for this quarter. And am I watching what the economy is doing very closely? Yes, I'm watching my numbers like a hawk. I have to pay attention. But $1 million, you figure it out how much that is per day, and where do you think my focus is to even consider being at $1 million in sales? It has nothing to do with politics when I sign off.
But that's how you survive this fourth quarter and continue. You put your head down and work and understand what the because if you get too buried in this, you can get distracted and not understand that if you're an eBay seller, you've got to have how do you ensure that you have a great fourth quarter? Have listings up at competitive prices in this marketplace. Things sell. Things are selling right now. I mean, and people are paying really solid money for items. But if you allow yourself to be distracted and don't get things done, and folks, you're in the middle of November. You've got 5 solid weeks of work to make this quarter happen. And if you don't want to sit in January and go, it was the election this, it was the election that, and not be able to look in the mirror and go, did you bust your ass? Did you do the things that was required of you and your business to stay ahead of this game?
Listen to me. If you stand in January and blame anybody but you for your results in the fourth quarter, you sound just like Kamala Harris. I lost the election because the Latinos didn't vote for me, and they didn't do this and they didn't do that. That bitch has not taken stood up and said it was my fault for doing this or that at any point in time. Everything I do, there's things that are out of my control, but the things that are in my control, if I screw it up, I stand up and say I screwed up.
And somebody asked, what is selling now? So someone certain, most goods and services are selling now. Some of the higher price goods are harder to sell. I know the auto industry is struggling greatly to move cars, but most of us don't sell cars. What basic household needs are selling very well.
Here's what's
food and
selling.
groceries sell well. Replenishables sell very. Granny panties. Grandma still needs panties.
It's not just granny panties. It's the quality at an affordable price.
Yep.
Granny panty. It's not Victoria's Secrets. The luxury type items are slowing down drastically.
Hey John, did you see my picture in granny panties on the show?
No.
I was packing heat.
Oh yeah, I was here when you did that. When you
sad.
On. Yeah, I was there.
I can't get that out of my brain.
I know. I wake up in the middle of the night screaming, "No, Scott, don't do it."
Somewhat certain that so needs are selling greatly now, but don't miss the fact that John and I, we were talking about this, I think, beforehand. There is a segment of the population that isn't affected by the inflation. Their life is going on like normal. The wants are be a little slower, but it doesn't mean the wants don't sell. It just may not be the exact same velocity that would be in normal times, but they're still, that segment of the market is still selling because there are people that they're like, I want that. I mean, one on the panel bought a house this last week. Someone else was trying to buy a farm. I mean, there's people that are
the same person that bought a house is buying the farm, buddy.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking at one too.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
But
so,
listen,
my house
fell apart.
The one I'm looking at is a want and a need
you
put
said it fell
together.
apart?
Do what?
Yeah, my house deal fell apart, and it has nothing to do with me. I was doing an assumable loan, and they have to provide me with information before the contract's signed, and they drug their feet, and they still haven't provided me with the information. So if they ever come up with the information, we can actually go back into a sale. But as it stands right now, I don't have a deal.
But yeah, a lot of those things, it's just what velocity is it, you know. But I would also tell you too that some of those markets, uh, your competition is fallen by the wayside. So I don't know how much of a difference you will see in overall sales because of businesses exiting the marketplace because they can't compete.
Wow, Tamara, you're rocking and rolling.
Oh my god! I shipped. I was tired. I'm so tired of shipping it.
I
I
shipped.
should've-
I didn't ship anything.
Yeah, I should have shipped on Monday, and I decided not to ship Monday, and I ended up with 70 yesterday. It was over 70 because as things sold yesterday, I kept shipping them, but I don't know how many I have today. How many
You
do we
know,
have today?
Lori asked if anybody shipped their pants.
ship the pants.
I did not ship my pants.
You know,
For
like
real.
in our household, needs for us is like going to the grocery store. Robert asked me what I wanted for Christmas. I said, I don't know. I don't need anything. She said, what do you want for Christmas? I said, an F-150. And she said, oh, that's not happening.
Well,
But
Tom, that's where you and I are different. If I wanted an F-150, I go buy it, park it in the driveway, and then ask my wife for forgiveness.
oh well, that's the way my
And
dad
if
was.
you don't believe me, my wife is sitting right there, and she will tell you that is how I got every one of my Harleys. I went and bought it, signed the papers, wrote it up, and said, and she went, "What is that?" I'm like, "My new cycle. Sorry, can you give me forgiveness?" I don't. No. If I
eBay
want
has
something, I'm going to buy it.
eBay for a long time has been buy it now. Auctions, you can run auctions if you want to on eBay, but you're generally going to get less dollars for the item because the Amazon has taught the world the immediacy of just buy it and be done with it versus the waiting 7 or whatever day. You can, if you're looking to find a deal and you've got time, sniping and all that stuff is still a thing. But auctions are, it's almost always buy it now. I don't know hardly anybody that run. Does anybody know anybody that runs a viable business on eBay anymore that's strictly just auctions?
I don't even
I
know.
don't. The auction format is still alive and well, but it's on other platforms. If you go to a Whatnot, live auctions
Yeah.
are very popular. Some of the other platforms, but
But you know, Whatnot has. I think what people like about Whatnot is that besides getting stuff at a cheaper price, is that Whatnot has you've got to ship stuff out quickly, and most Whatnotters are shipping out like the next day, and so people are getting their stuff in a timely manner. So, hey, Kent.
Texas Bandit. Chat's moving a little fast today for me. Texas Bandit brought out a good point. If you're trying to get Christmas up now, you're screwed.
Yeah.
depends on what platform. On eBay, I mean, and also depends on how you sell on those platforms.
Yes.
You know, I could, if you're in John's where you've got to bring product in and and you're dependent on getting into a warehouse, it's I think you're past due. But the difficulties and the moving around they're doing. But if you're a smaller seller, you still have time. If you're going to do merchant fulfilled and do some, there's
But
still time.
but you're missing his point. His point was if you're starting now, you messed up because you should be planning further. You should be planning for next year already. I don't care if you're selling on eBay or wherever you're selling. You should already have you may not be in operation of what you're going to do for Christmas, but you should be planning out what you're going to do after Christmas. You should already have your Christmas plan in place for now.
So Kent, what am I missing? Who are Brant and Clay?
So I only use auctions for items I don't know a whole lot about
No,
and,
there's still a
and,
there's still a function for that, Todd. You're 100% correct.
and can't find, if I get something like
A lot of
art,
toothbrush holders.
like an art painting that I just don't know the final value it could garner. It's subjective enough to where I'll just leave it up to the bidders sometimes. Not often. I don't have an auction running right now in my store, but I've used them that way. But I always started at a price that I won't go below.
And that's listen, and that's the part people are struggling. One of the things people are struggling with right now is where do you fall in this country for your what do you call it? What do you want to call it? Your personal economy. I don't fully understand somebody struggling to buy eggs. I just don't. I'm not there. Just like they don't understand why I'm doing so well. Well, I was thinking about like last night. It's probably been probably at least a month since Lori and I have gone out to out to what I call going out to dinner.
Hey, we had a request.
Hey, Sue.
Backpack, 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 backpack.
Oh my lord!
Hey, you got to give the people what they want.
Texas Bandit says, "Do I buy German quality water pumps or cheaper Chinese water pumps?"
So I think that's going to be if he does, if he's successful with putting tariffs in a lot of places. I think quality, because quality will become a little more affordable. I mean, we've gotten so used to everything being so damn disposable because it only costs $1, $2, and quality is, people are not willing. I mean, there's a segment that pays for quality, but
you have to understand the only way that's going to be possible is selective tariffs, and I don't know that that's going to be possible.
Why
Meaning,
can't we make
you
it
have,
here?
you have to be selective on what you try and control coming into this country, because if you impose too high of a tariff, our infrastructure in manufacturing and production of goods within our borders is not strong enough at this point in time to support the economy in the future.
So they announced that they are moving towards bankruptcy. Spirit Airlines announced it moves towards bankruptcy. If you got Spirit Airlines stock, you might want to get out.
Too late. I believe trading was halted.
They one of their planes a couple of days ago, I think going into, was it Haiti that got shot up? They had to divert somewhere.
At least they found out that it was shot on the next flight. American Airlines took 4 more flights before they realized they had a bullet hole in their aircraft.
Like, what the hell's a tariff? I know you're in New Jersey. Can y'all not spell anything in New Jersey? What the hell? An award-winning U.S. education you got there. Don't understand what the blue line means?
John, what is the average price point of the stuff that you sell?
I really can't give you an average price point because I sell so much low price stuff that it doesn't reflect. It drops my high price items drastically.
What could you like $9 to
My American
$35?
my American made product is about $42 an item,
Right.
which is 85% of my company.
Right.
in volume, in actual product count, it is about 65%. I think it's 64 something of my sales revenue.
Right.
And then my Chinese product is all under $10. So it's such a large volume game that it affects what you're asking about average sale price.
Right. Well,
So
that's
my
fair.
average sales price is like $22 across my account. But if you break it between American and Chinese, there's a huge difference.
Right.
What the hell is all that noise about? Why is
I
that
mean,
even
it just
bothering?
seems. I mean, we make so much, we import so much stuff, and I'm really hung up on this over the counter mad stuff. You know, it's it's $168 billion a year industry. It looks like Americans would get into some of that action.
Well, here's the thing. What people don't understand is when Trump was in office in 2016 and he enacted these tariffs, I took a hard look at what that meant to my business. And I have not let off of making adjustments based on those tariffs.
Right.
I've been trying harder and harder to get my production out of China. I'm in a group of, I believe it was like 650 the last time I looked, of people selling $1 million plus on Amazon.
Right.
A majority of them are scrambling today. What am I going to do in January when he gets the tariff at 60%? I'm like, why are we even discussing this now? Where have you been for the last 8 years?
Right.
So, some of this is our own fault. We don't want to enact this change. It will cost each and every one of us in some form.
But it's not. Don't. It's not us as citizens. It's not our fault that that
No.
law that
Us, I'm
the
talking
go-
about government and business. I'm not talking about people, but it's going to affect each and one of our lives. And because business said, government works too slow and nothing's going to happen, we'll never get Trump back. For a year we heard it up until Monday night. This race is closed. There's no way. We don't know which way it's going to go. Bullshit. They've known a long time, and he ain't changed what he said. Why haven't, because we're so used to how slow everything moves, nobody took action. I talk about this all the time. If they're discussing it, you got to figure out what you're going to do. It's like playing a game of chess. If you move a pawn, I already know what I'm going to do if you move that particular pawn. I've already thought out what my next move is. We have gotten away from that strategy.
yeah.
We
So
react. We react instead of take action.
like says things are about to get expensive. Okay, so here's the same exercise that John just took. If things are about to get expensive, how do you and your company? How does that change, and how does that affect you as a business and what you sell and how you operate? It should dramatically. As people will see, oh my God, I can't bring stuff from China anymore. It's too expensive. I can't do this. But they will miss the fact that wait a minute, used items are a significant value. The more expensive a new item gets, the more value and the more opportunity is in the pre-owned market. There is for every action, there is an opposite reaction that can be profitable in your business.
I'm so glad that American Honey jumped into this. This is the problem. Ag says things are about to get expensive. This is where our country's economy is right now. Then American Honey, the very next comment says things are already expensive.
It's your viewpoint. It's where you at in the economy.
Same for both of them. They both are looking at it from two different sides.
When you go into the grocery store these days, do you see
I don't
a
look
lot
at
of
prices.
sale
I just
items? Do
buy.
you see a lot of sale items? Because I
Who, go-
remember when you could go in and buy something.
who goes to the grocery store?
I do.
This morning, no lie. Before when I got it this morning, uh, Jody sitting there with her phone. She's like, uh, I've planned out what we're eating for the next 5 or 6 days. Do you need anything from Walmart? I'm like, I don't know, Diet Coke. And she's like, do you have any snacks? I'm like, yeah, I guess I could take a few snacks. She's like, I'm ordering this, and that. And she says, it'll be here this afternoon. She ain't, we ain't go to the grocery store. Who goes to the grocery store?
I go in. I go to the grocery store to buy fresh, like vegetables, milk, and meat.
I want
Okay.
to talk. I want to talk directly to Lag at this moment.
Um,
He says about to get more expensive. Thanks. He's saying that all imports are going to about to get more expensive. Thanks, Mr. Trump. Do you think Trump is actually wanting these tariffs to make things more expensive for you, Lag? Do you think he wants to raise the price? Because if you do, tariffs is not the answer. The tariff is to try and bring back jobs, industry, and economy to our country so that our country as a whole benefits from the profits of all of that. But because you talk like that, Lag, everybody assumes that it's Trump's fault that the prices went higher. And that's not what it is. He is trying to revitalize what we had in the times of like the industrial age and things like that when our economies were booming. We call it the Rust Belt because everything turned to rust in the steel industry.
you want to really find out when our economy was booming? Go a couple years before that when when there was no income tax and everything was operated on by tariffs. When did the U.S. have the largest dollar per person? And
I understand all that, but too many people are saying it's Trump's fault, it's Harris's fault, it's this person's fault. No, they may not. They may not
they
see
take the
eye to
blame.
eye.
They take
They
the
want
blame.
they want a better country in the end.
You can't convince me Harris wants a better country. Sorry.
I think she does. I just don't think we want the type of country she's looking for.
I don't believe Americans really care about how much it costs to produce it because they will pay $3,000 for a damn Louis Vuitton pocketbook that costs the manufacturers $35 to make, and
Now that's
paying.
bullshit. That's bullshit because a Louis Vuitton, and it's on YouTube. Look it up. There's several people that have done it. The average cost, actual cost for raw material for the quality of the leather and everything else that's used in that is closer to 25. I'm sorry, closer to 250 to $300 without labor, just in materials, because they use quality materials. So it's not $35 for the bag, but their margins are much bigger. I agree with you on that point. But don't discount what that bag is. That is a quality bag made of quality material.
That if you damage, it's a you've spent $2,000 for a damaged pocketbook that no woman's going to carry. There's no, because I was on when Roberta went back to work after her transplant. I was going to buy her a really nice laptop case. And I started off at Coach because that was what everybody was carrying. So I went to a Coach place, and they had a really nice one, and it was $2,200. And I said, no, I ain't that. I'm not going to do that. And on the way out of the South Park Mall, anybody is familiar with Charlotte, stopped at the Louis, and a Louis of the same kind was like almost 4 grand. And both places I said, do I have like a lifetime warranty on these things? No, you're buying the product. Well, screw that. I can go buy her 18 of the same daggum laptop cases for $300, and she can just switch them off out every day. I mean, I don't think people. I just don't think people are concerned about it. They'll buy
Yeah,
what they want. They will buy what they want because it's what.
there it is, Coach.
Oh, he's a one of those brand buyers.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Lori, how long did it take me to find that wallet? Year?
Oh, like, I don't know, like forever.
I looked at wallets for over a year.
See, the Tom. So Jennifer's making a point that y'all Louis Vuitton is a hard one because the more value something's placed on something, it doesn't. If you buy a cheap purse versus, you know, as long as the Louis is in good condition, it'll appreciate. It'll be rarity. It'll be all the things. That's
It's
a
like
hard.
Legos.
The middle market is more. You got something like a Dooney and Burke or something that's not that same level as a Louis. That one takes a price crash and the value doesn't hold. It's like buying a Ferrari. The Ferrari price. You buy the Corvette and the Ferrari. They're same performance. They're nearly the same, identical. The Corvette in a couple of years is worth half the Ferrari. As long as you don't wreck it, is still worth significantly more. The higher end, there's a value placed on the rarity, scarcity, quality that doesn't happen for everybody.
And you have to
Yeah.
understand something. We're each
Hold it just a second.
Go ahead.
Hold it just a second. Can't my Saturn has 149,000 miles on it,
That's
Oh,
it.
dude,
and
I
it's
give-
and
I
it's
don't
a
give
2008. I
Saturn.
get in it and I can crank it up and I can drive it wherever I want to. I can drive it to Scott's house and feel confident that I'm going to make it there.
But when you leave the neighborhood, do you kill the insects and stuff too? Does it fog everything when you go?
No, not a bit. My next door neighbor, or two houses over, he's got a new Toyota Tundra. And it's sitting at the Toyota dealership because at 3,000 miles, the engine exploded on him,
Yeah,
and he
don't.
paid a shit ton of money for that damn truck.
Yeah, they didn't do enough research on those high torque engines with Toyota, and when they replaced the V8s this year with the V6s. There's no way in hell you buy that twin turbo V6. Because they're finding that manufacturing flaws. They're finding loose metal in those engines, and it is at a high pressure. It is tearing them apart.
All of them. They're all having problems with those engines.
But
It
look
don't
at
matter what
look
brand
at Ford. Look at Ford and the EcoBoost. That's such high pressure.
Yeah.
They don't last.
Um,
Get you a regular old Toyota V6, like out in the driveway. It's 244,000. Jennifer, how many miles are on your little old Toyota V6? She passed me. She passed me last year.
You can't. You almost have to put a bullet in the block to get those frickers to stop running. They're like the old Dodge Slant Six, which other car companies offered to buy the technology because they
I told you.
run without a
267.
wheel.
Jennifer's got 267. She's got a Forerunner, and I think the same engine. That's the marvel of Toyota, and the foreign guys figure it out, and the Americans still have not. The less options you put on a vehicle, the more profitable you can be because you can make more of the same. And the engine choices, I think Toyota's now got 3 engines. They've got the 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder, and then the twin turbo. I think that's the only engines they make. And how many engines does Chevrolet and Ford make?
Be careful. Be careful because Ford is very smart, and everybody's discounting them. They have gone to a Toyota type style. They have 2 frames that they work on. They have a unibody frame that they put.
The engines we got a diesel, we got 2 V8s, we got a V6, we got a twin turbo, we got a 4-cylinder. They make a lot. They make a lot more engines.
Ford makes 4, 6, 2 8s, and a diesel.
Anissa, do you even leave the house? A 2011 with 103. I
Now,
bought that 16 and 16, and I had 100,000 miles before mid 2018. What the hell?
My daughter-in-law probably put 103,000 miles on her Jeep the first 2 years she had it. I mean,
now,
How many times was that damn thing in the shop?
now
you know,
here's the
actually, she hadn't had it in the shop because I'm on her ass about it's time. Are you
Nah,
having that thing serviced like you're supposed to?
you me show you what Jeeps are good for.
I know what you're going to show. You're going to show Terry's picture.
Yeah, where did he send it to me? Or is it on Facebook?
I know it's on Facebook because I seen it and I start to laugh at him.
This is my brother with his 31,000 mile Jeep.
What happened to it?
It fucking died on the side of the road.
Oh, did it?
Check engine light came on and it turned off, and he had to coast to the side of the road. That's a record service coming to pick it up. It's got 31,000 miles on it.
My niece has a top of the line Hyundai.
Oh
Is it
shit!
Palisade? Their big SUV. They just spent 15 grand to have the motor replaced in it because
Steve, you might as well go ahead and sell it.
I'm convinced they didn't have it serviced like they're supposed to. They said it just happened on the run. But anyway,
Here's
15 grand for an engine.
let's get this back to the economy. Here's the thing you have to understand. I'm going to have a different opinion than Tom. Tom's going to have a different opinion than Scott. Scott's going to have a different opinion than Todd. And none of us are going to agree. I want you to remember all your friends today. And in 6 months, here's what you're going to see as a common thread for people. The ones that went, okay, what can I do today to prepare myself for tomorrow? And the ones that went, it's Trump's fault. And where are they in 6 months?
But that's
Blaming everybody else for your fucking problems. Get off your ass and do something to better your own freaking life.
And you can see it. I talked about them earlier. It's all over YouTube. It's the let's form a union. It's eBay's fault. It's eBay changed. It is now your fault because you were not adjusting your business to the current platform changes. When I was so glad you had a conversation with John and the light came on and because it was good to remind me that we get on here and talk about it, but it's to let people understand what's going on so they can make changes in their business.
And listen, there's one thing about bitching between a group of friends.
Right. It's very constructive, and there was because you were doing it out of a position of concern and care and wanting to, because John's not flipping ADs. John, outstanding guy. He's not struggling. But it's also you can look at John has Grumpy has the ability to go, if I help see somebody just a little bit different, maybe it makes their life a little more comfortable. Maybe they deal with it better. Maybe their business goes a little smoother. It's out of a concern. It's not out of it's not out of a picking or whatever. It's out. He has fun doing it. Don't get me wrong, but it's the end point is, if you can help somebody see it just a little different, that problem. If you see every problem as an opportunity, it's how do you get by it? Make the changes. Okay, so there's a problem here. You don't have to like it. You can't change it. You got to deal with it. Move on. You get it out of your way. Move on.
Listen, Trump and I are a lot alike in that aspect. We don't have that vein in us that makes us say it in a nice way. We sound like we're freaking yelling and screaming and on a rant.
Right.
And if you take it after I'm gone and dissect what I said and think about it and mull it over, you go, you know what? He's got a valid point that I'm the only one that can control my destiny.
No, you're 100% correct. And
Everybody should be doing that, thinking that.
But
but
they
you're
Doesn't
not
matter who the president is.
you're
Doesn't
not you're
matter
not
who.
taught that. What is everybody taught right now? You know, if you need help, it used
We're
to
taught
be,
how to point a fucking finger.
but it used to be families took care of families. You know, friends, family, every people stayed together. You look at it and go, well, why of all the groups and all the ethnic groups, why are Orientals? Why did they make more money than any other group? Oh, because they've had privilege. It, do y'all not remember in World War II we threw them in concentration camps? They have been excluded, but their families stay together. They don't they see things different. I'm telling you,
Look at peddling profit.
you're taught to look to the government. You're taught to look to everything.
It's supposed to be list, not tour. List our asses off. Think about it. Your car breaks down, you're going to work a little harder to get it fixed.
And nothing is cheap when it comes to automobiles. That labor just burns you up. The parts are cheap. And I will have to say, I had to have the blower on my Outlook replaced, which I had replacement a year ago, and they replaced because it was still under warranty. Not, it was still under warranty. Um, they it didn't cost me anything. Shut up, Camp. I know you're going to say
What
something.
you have to replace the whole engine?
No, the blower for the air conditioning and the heating, and I was really surprised about that. The part the part is like $75. The labor to put it in was like 400 and some dollars. If I would have had to pay for it, I would have paid for it because you have to rip the whole damn dash out to get to that blower. I mean, they make it so hard for you to work on your own car. Uh,
That's
it's
what
just it's incredible how they do stuff. But people are just got to start looking out for themselves. They got to start thinking down the road.
Damn it.
Don't think about I can make that credit card payment next month because you might not be able to make it.
Hit it with a hammer.
What are you
Just
trying
so
to
you
tear
know,
up
that
over
was
there?
one of the jets for the Air
Let
Force
me get the
Base.
door back on the thing.
Yeah.
Scott,
So
you know how big this RV is, right? You've been in it.
No, how big is it?
This thing's freaking rumbling when that thing comes over the top of us.
Never even seen that RV before. What are you talking about?
when I was growing up, I grew up in Goose Creek, South Carolina, when the C5As were coming out, and our house was right under the dadgum landing area. And
John, do they still have the B-1 bombers there?
Yes.
and it'd make our whole house shake, everybody's house shake when those
When that
things flew over.
when that B1 comes across the top of this RV, because I'm like on the lines in the middle of the runway. You know how the runway has the lines in the middle? I must be directly over it because the front wheels come across the top of the RV. The wheels are already deployed when it
Yeah.
comes over the top of the RV.
Well, now
Holy frickin' cow, does that plane move this bus?
you should have been in Abilene when the B-52s were going over.
I remember them.
They're about
I almost went to see them in concert.
What's
oh,
today? Wednesday.
B-52s
The
are about
building
twice
the
as
building
big
today
as
will
B-1.
will shake 3 or 4 times today. I think we're having an earthquake or something.
But yeah, I mean, in reality, the people that are going to come out of this, I know I'm in business and I know everybody thinks I'm lucky and I got lucky and I don't know what the hell I did to get lucky. Here's what I can tell you. I started my company in 2008. It was a great economy if you were around in 2008. Ask anybody. This is a time of opportunity for so many people. The problem is you have to get off your ass and actually think about what you can do to change your outcome in the future. There are opportunities trying to knock your door down and you're ignoring them.
Shut up, lag. I was trying to figure out why the door keeps falling off, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but there is a.
Yeah, a chip.
It's got it just slides in there. It's not meant to stay in there permanent. It's meant to come right off.
Hmm.
I'm like, well, the other side looks different, but I had to put my glasses on to see they're the same. I'm like,
Can't.
why does this door keep coming off?
Man, I should have bought Bitcoin this summer. It went over 91,000.
Damn.
Crap.
Don't worry, it's going to come down.
Yeah.
Lag is going to be. He's going to be rich, super rich. He's going to be Bill
That's-
Gates rich.
No,
That is all.
he sold all
so
of
you
his.
know, that is all speculation.
Yep.
That is all That price is so high right now, based on speculation of Trump saying that he's going to make that part of our reserve. That he wants to get into where Bitcoin is part of the government.
Is Doge still up too? Because
Doge is way up.
because of every time Elon mentions Doge, something happens, and the Department of Government, and he kept saying that Doge is a good name for it. They posted that, and the damn price went because it was, I think Monday it was like 20 cents.
It's closing in on 40, I believe.
It was 40 cents. So I looked a day or so ago. It was 40 cents.
See, my biggest thing, John, you're old enough to remember these other blokes. Todd too, because he's older than me. But most of these people don't remember when all the e-business, the .com businesses were,
The bubble.
$500 for a share of a company that had nothing, and then all of a sudden it busted it, and people lost their ass because they didn't because there was nothing there. There was nothing. The company had no value.
There's no substance behind letters on a screen.
Yeah, I mean there was nothing to hold the value.
Who gets
And,
gas at Costco?
Do what?
Heather is saying 1231. Write down the price of the items you use the most and see what happens every. Gas is cheaper at Walmart.
I go to
Just remember, Johnny is ordering our groceries. That includes most people. I don't know if they take advantage of it. If you have Walmart Plus, if you buy your gas at Murphy USA and punch in your number, when 2 weeks ago it gave me 10 cents off. It's up to 10 cents per gallon. Most of the time it's $5, but I got gas for $2.40 a gallon in Fayetteville, Tennessee last week. The 10 cents don't match Costco's price, and then if you've got Walmart Plus, make sure. I think you're allowed to use up to $2,000 a year in gas savings. Make sure it's $50 a month, whatever they charge us, $50 a year, whatever it is. I easily get that back in gas discounts. Well, Steve, look where you live. You live in just a terrible place. I'm surprised you even have a Walmart.
He's in Ohio, right?
The eBay and on sale stock just skyrocketed.
What is on sale?
I don't know what Bastion. What is on sale?
I'd be leery of the stock market.
I think we got a crash coming.
I don't know. I'm not going to say a crash. I think the entire U.S. economy is going to have what they call a correction.
Mm-hmm.
Some prices are going to go up, some prices are going to go down, and some things are going to go frickin' through the floor. I don't think anything's going to skyrocket because everybody's pushing it so high right now. For us to recover, we got to have some kind of correction, including the housing market. The car market is already starting to have a correction.
Yeah, you just got to watch some videos about the car market. The car market, something happened with.
I don't have to watch the car market. I am heavily invested in the car market, as you know.
Yep.
And like Lag likes to put out there, and he wonders why I frickin' hate his guts. I'd like to run into him in a dark fucking alley.
then you'd
Hey,
be
you lag.
then you'll either be arrested for beating up a child,
I don't give a fuck. I'd like to put that motherfucker 6 feet under.
or you're going to be accused of beating up an old lady, a 43-year-old mother of 4.
There's a reason why I tell everybody what I sell, but I don't need that motherfucker out here posting it on videos that everybody watches, because eventually people are going to target me. Just like I'm targeting his motherfucking ass right now.
Who was that?
Lag.
He doesn't make videos.
No, he puts out in the freaking comments what I sell all the time. And he
Really?
wonders if I don't fucking like them.
Like, I am in. Tell me what John sells. I mean, I don't really care.
I know most people don't care, and I have such strong deals.
You can't. Yeah, it's hard. You can't get into that.
I just don't want it put out in public
Right,
on a regular channel that people come and see me on.
right.
I just don't want it.
Now,
Sorry I got so upset, folks, but
you used to
that's
have
been at me for a while. He thinks I like him. I don't.
and hey, Sue, you used to have a big flag business, didn't you?
No, I did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You used to have a big flag business,
Yeah.
and that
COVID-
kind of went away
COVID-
during the
COVID killed the flag business.
COVID. Indiana had some really strange laws.
right,
And what happened was, it's an American flag company. It had a lot of government contracts and manufacture flags for the government.
right,
And when Indiana shut them down as a non-essential business,
right.
the day after they opened back up, the U.S. government sued them for not fulfilling their contract on the requirement for flag production.
That sucks. But one incident destroyed one of his income streams. And I think that's something we all need to be looking at is if something happened to lock your business down, or what are you going to do about it besides your spouse, if you have a spouse and a spouse that works?
I've put a lot of, and I see it already. And this is, I was looking yesterday. I have a lot of competition in my American-made product that's coming in from China. I'm in support of the tariffs at 60% because it's going to shut them down. They're not going to be able to use my patented products manufactured in China and bring them into this country because they know how much of the market share that I have in certain manufacturing products in this country. I tell everybody, I sell toothpicks, I sell freaking party supplies, I sell all kinds of shit. But he likes to put out one particular product line that I have that is very protected and it's very profitable for me and my family. So lag is a direct threat to my family. And I defend my family at all costs.
I don't
Like-
really, facts, I really don't care.
I know that, Tom, and I know most people don't care.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about because I don't have a product. I don't have that
So-
kind of business like Scott, John does.
So Heather, Walmart and Hazel Green is $257. The Costco is $257. You have an app like Gas Buddy, you can just look on the map. So their prices are generally the same. The difference is if you have Walmart Plus, so it's an extra 5 to 10 cents a gallon. So that's why I generally go down to Walmart to get gas down there. And so most people, you got to realize if you drive out of your way, you're generally wasting the savings to get to a place. So like Monday morning, I have to drive to Fayetteville. So I will get gas at whichever Walmart is cheaper. Sometimes the Fayetteville, Tennessee, due to taxes, is cheaper. Sometimes the Hazel Green is cheaper. And then use Walmart Plus and save the 5 to 10%, 5 to 10 cents a gallon.
I can drive 2 miles south and cross into South Carolina and buy gas for 25 cents a gallon cheaper. And if I go over to the gas station at the Sam's Club, I can get another like 15 cents off.
Timer, that's because you're in a blue state.
Yeah, it's 257, so it should be. So that makes it what 252 or 247, one of the two, depending on what Walmart decides to give the discount at. So, Bass Noodle, I think you're right. People are living beyond their means. The government's living beyond its means. That's the one thing that truly fixes. If you reduce the size of government and reduce the regulations, you free up business to work, and then you also the government doesn't have to spend as much money. If we quit spending money we don't have, you want to know how to bring your costs in line. The government can't spend more than their budget. They can't, whatever they take in, that's it. They have a zero balance sheet. If they're going to take in $1 trillion, that's all you got, folks. $1 trillion. That's it. You don't have nothing. You don't print money and then do 2 trillion. You don't. All the rest of that. You get rid of the Federal Reserve and you operate on what you got.
Just like you have to. Just like John has to.
No
like God has to.
That's the true cost. The true reason, no matter what they tell you, the reason for inflation is simple. The government spends more money than they have. Simple as that. That's why we have inflation.
Listen, sometimes you have to spend more money than you have to grow. I can't, could I have done it without borrowing money? Yes. But I wanted to grow to a certain size. Our government is not looking to grow. That's the difference, Tom.
Right.
I was looking for growth where.
But you also borrowed money with the intention of paying it back. The government is just going to print more money. They're not going to. They don't pay anything back.
I think it was Brenda. Maybe I was wrong. She was talking about she bought some property. She took out a loan and bought a bunch of property, and then she sold off a bit of it to pay the whole lot, and she still has a bunch of the acreage left. I understand that. I just can't get over people spending the money they spend for like I want a truck. That's a tool to me because I can haul shit in it.
Or it can be storage because mine's full of shit right now.
But going out and spending.
But you're not. You want an F-150, but you don't want a 2025.
If a person that goes out and borrows a bunch of money to buy a high-end automobile because it looks good, I don't understand that. I couldn't sleep at night. I don't even like, we don't carry debt. That's our personal choice.
The best thing I did in October?
What'd you do?
Sent in the last payment for the Acura.
Who has an Acura?
We do.
Joni?
Joni has an Acura. Or the little TLX.
But most or least, my sister-in-law, this has been a long time ago, like in 1980, when they were building the nuclear power plant here in York County, or down in York County, they were paying people really good, really, really good. And people were spending the hell out of that money. They were buying expensive pickup trucks and expensive bass boats and cars and whatnot. And when they finished building that plant and they started laying everybody off, or the construction people off, my sister-in-law said she'd come in because she was head of the loan department at this local bank. She'd come in on Monday, and she couldn't even park her car. She'd park her car in the middle of the grass because everybody just came in and just left these vehicles in the driveway and went over to the drop box and just dropped their keys in it with a note saying you can have it back.
So Steve is saying that Walmart Plus works at Shell. but the shells here are stupid expensive. This is one of those crazy places we have. Within 30 minutes, there are 12 Walmarts, and of those, I think only 3 of them don't have gas stations. 3 or 4.
Basket Noodle, billionaires now are what millionaires used to be 25 years ago. Because it's easy to become a millionaire these days just on 401ks and buying a home and that kind of stuff. But like I said, the billionaires are what millionaires used to be.
Yeah, that's the best thing about the Acura. It was last payment was last month. I think it's only got 65,000 miles on it. 65 or 67, somewhere in the mid 60s.
My brother has a F-250 diesel company truck, and they made the last payment on it. And a month later, a lady T-boned him going through an intersection, totaled that thing.
Yeah, that's the fear. Joni says something about it. She's like, I grabbed it to put some gas in or run to the car wash, and she's like, my baby is paid off. Do not let somebody hit my baby. I'm like, all right, well, I don't count. Okay, both of y'all.
But people are just those upper class millionaires control much of the trickle down lifestyle.
Yeah, but I'm very optimistic about the fourth quarter, but I am very fearful that there's so much talk of them trying to turn the economy over and really hamstring, which makes no sense, folks. Whenever you hear these rumors and that Democrats and one side, whichever side of the party is trying to hamstring the incoming president so that they look bad, that tells you everything you need to know. Why did they lose elections? Because they hate you, the American people. They hate. Just think about that. The rumors are going around that they want to crash the market. They want to do this to make Trump's so his first 2 years of his presidency are terrible and people look bad. Who do they have to fuck to do that? Who do they have to screw and bend over without lube to do that? You.
Hopefully, lag. I feel bad. I chased lag away. I'm sorry. I feel bad, Beard.
Brenda, I'm not saying anything bad about what you're doing. I do it all the time. Not $1 million types, but I'll buy a lot, a city lot that's sitting on a corner, and I can bust it into 3 lots and make it pay for the whole shebang and make a bunch of money off of it. So I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just talking about the people who just go out and just borrow money for the damn and run up credit cards on crap that has no value to it because it's
All right, since lag left, I'm gonna go make breakfast.
okay. What time is it?
It's like 22.
I
gotta
feel
get out
bad.
here.
I tried not to say that online. He just poked me today the wrong way.
Yeah, did everybody see that, John? That the same thing that worked with government. The government hired. They sued Elon Musk because he wasn't hiring and the state government or whatever it was because he wasn't hiring enough asylum seekers. But yet the federal government says he's a whatever weapons maker. He's not allowed to hire anybody.
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, they sue you for not doing something, and after they tell you can't do it. I'm like, makes no damn.
We have a little bank in South Carolina that they have been sued so many times because this is the requirements for getting a loan. And if you don't meet those requirements, you don't get a loan, which means, unfortunately, there's a lot of ethnic people that don't get loans, a lot of women don't get loans, and also a lot of men that don't get loans. and it's always been thrown out because they say this is the way. And this bank survived during is an old bank. It survived during the Great Depression when banks were losing their shit, and it's just a country bank. They are real conservative on their leaning processes, and they and I think that's what people need to do. It's like this thing about employees. I don't have to hire you just because you come and ask me for a job. Don't matter where you're at, what you look like. If you don't meet the dress code, if you can't meet the dress code, then you're not a good fit for our people,
Hey,
our
stop
company.
talking about Fetterman
What about Fetterman?
not meeting the dress code.
Oh, I just think people need to grow up and start following the rules. I mean, that's just it. People do not follow the rules. I've got a bunch of old videos of people on another channel that I'm playing with, of people traveling on airlines, like in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s. They dressed up because it was special. I've seen people going on the airplanes that look like they just crawled out of bed.
Very interesting to go back and look at airline 40s and 50s of people getting on airlines.
I mean, I like seeing that stuff, all that stuff.
So I was watching this interesting channel. I don't even remember the name of it, but because there's a big conspiracy theory. There's people that think that history is trying to was rewritten in the 17 1800s and with the mud floods and all these things and all the buildings. Very interesting to go back and look at the history. So it came up on Birmingham, Alabama, his latest video last night. And so in Birmingham, Alabama was incorporated in 1871. They combined three little bitty farm towns. It had a population of 3,000 people. But it had a population of 30,000 people by the turn of the century at 1900. Yet they had built 15 or 18 multi-story, 6 to 8 story buildings all through. You're like, how do they were still in horse and buggies? How did they build? And this is grand architecture with marble insides and all this craziness of all these elaborate old world looking buildings. That as the century turned, they took some of the buildings and took all the ornate stuff off of them and made them look like normal buildings.
Right.
Because you can see through history what the building looks like. It's very interesting. This guy's channel, I can't think of the name of the channel, but very, very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I like watching the old 8mm films just to see how people
Then I watched one
operate.
on Grand Rapids. So he's got 100 videos or so of different towns, and go, this doesn't make sense for this many people. I mean, so it happened to me in Missouri when I last time I was in Missouri a few months ago, and I was so I was going to Arkansas, but Missouri had a weed store in that little town, so I was trying to find the weed store, and I'm like, there's a post. This town looked like it had maybe 3 main streets or 3 streets for the main street. It had a post office that was 7 stories and took up the whole block. I'm like, who the hell builds this post office in the middle of no freaking where? I mean, this was a massive building, and so he does that kind of thing. He's like, why? The population doesn't support this kind of building. Where the hell did it come from? Who built it? Because there's never any construction photos. It's always photos of the building. It's very, very
Well, the post office doesn't actually own any of its buildings. It's all they rent it, lease it from somebody else. So you can build a building in an area that needs a new post office and rent it to the. If it meets the requirements, you can rent it to the post office forever. So the people that were renting, it was the post office, but the top floors might have been something else, unless it was a sorting station type thing. But we found out that we have on my mom's side. She had family members fighting on both sides during the Great War. The Huck family didn't come here till after the whole Civil War stuff.
Yeah,
So hey, damn it, I need to get some money. I'm an immigrant. I should be able to get some kind of money.
You're an immigrant. You better be careful because I'm going to recommend you be the first one.
To be deported.
I want you to be the poster boy for frickin' deportation.
Did y'all see? It's one of the videos is talking about the liberals melting down type thing, and this one guy said, he says, "I'm leaving the country. I've already got my plane ticket to Hawaii." And the guy says, "You know that Hawaii is part of the United States. Well, they're getting ready to succeed." No, they're not.
all right. We hope through all the craziness you've learned something today. Take it. Most people who watch this channel are sitting there going, "I already take responsibility for my." That's why it's maybe one or two people out there the light comes on and hey, your business, up or down, good or bad, is generally the result of your actions. Most people that play the blame game, they're playing the blame game for a reason because they didn't solve a problem, they didn't take care of a problem, they didn't react, they did something. I mean, is there a business out there every now and then that there's something crazy happens and they go under? It does happen. But the vast majority of the reason is you did not take care of it.
God.
All right.
All
Grumpy's
right.
on everybody's ass today.
Have a great day.
Oh, wait a minute. I got to play this button.
For more awesome content, like and subscribe now.